Hello, welcome to our webinar on eOne Solutions. Our agenda today is for a few quick introductions, and then we have Naomi from eOne Solutions to join us to help with a number of rapid-fire demos. So as we get into this, I did want to always reiterate the Dynamics GP roadmap. Endeavour's point of view around Dynamics GP is it is very strong, and we still believe it is the best set of core financials in the mid-market. And we recommend surrounding GP with the cloud.
Endeavour is one of our top performing partners. They're very well trained with all of the eOne tools, and definitely you're in great hands with the Endeavour team.
Great. Thanks, Naomi. So next on the list is eOne SmartView. The advanced filters have been really popular, and a cool function that we're finding some clients are really taken hold of is the ability to use SmartView to expose your smart lists to non-GP users. So much along the ways that clients are trying to use Power BI to empower decisions outside of the Office of Finance, you can use SmartView to allow just about anyone in your organization to gain access to the data that you would find in your smart lists. Naomi, over to you.
Perfect, thank you. So SmartView is kind of one of those tools that you really don't know how good it is until you use it. So what we did with SmartView is we actually took all of the feedback from all you SmartList users, and we took that and then created SmartView. So if there are any specific pain points that you have with SmartList, SmartView is definitely going to help that. So as Scott mentioned, SmartView, one of the cool features with SmartView is it does give you the ability to access any of your lists outside of GP without taking up a GP license. So if you have those users maybe that are going into GP solely just to see their list, you're going to be able to save those licenses. All right, let's take a look at SmartView a little bit here. So we talked a little bit about SmartList Builder. Now, the one thing with SmartList Builder, SmartView and SmartList Builder, because they were both developed by eOne Solutions, they work extremely well together. Now, you can use them independently, definitely by all means. However, in terms of working well together, let's say here's an existing smart list, right, that I just pulled up. I can literally go in and click the modify button. What that's going to do is that's going to bring me right into the smart list builder if you have it to where you're going to be able to make changes right there on the fly. All right, so what I did is I pulled up, let's talk just a little bit about the lay of the land. So if we look on the left-hand side, this is what we call our tree view. And this is where you're going to be able to access any of those canned lists that you get with GP, as well as any list that you've created with Smart List Builder, you're going to have access to over here. Now moving over to our right-hand side, here's some additional fields that we're going to be able to pull in. Let's just pull in a few different fields so you can kind of get an idea of how easy it is to do that. Since we're working with our sales items list here, let's just pull in some sales information. So I'm going to double click on this sales date. It's going to add that. Or let's say I don't want to double click. You can drag it and drop it over. So let's add the sales ID. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and hide the list on the left-hand side, and I'm going to hide the columns on the right-hand side. If you notice here, those additional fields that we added to the very end or the very right-hand side. You know what? I really don't want my sales date here. So I'm going to be able to literally drag and drop this in any order that I would like. So I want my salesperson here. I want my item description here. Now, when we're looking at this list, right, it doesn't really tell us anything. It's just like a bunch of data thrown at us. When I'm looking at my list, I want to be able to maybe make some type of an action, right? Or it should tell me a story per se. So let's go ahead. I'm going to group by our SOP type. So when I group by our SOP type, now what we're seeing is it looks a little bit easier to read. I can actually see, hey, all of my back orders are totaled at these numbers, or it really gives us some of the information maybe we're looking to see. Now, if you note, not only does it have the grand total at the very end, but it has our totals for each of these individual sections as well. So let's now subgroup by our territory. So now when we're looking at this data, look, I can literally see all of the back orders for all of the territories, and they're literally sectioned out for me and totaled without having to do your export to Excel. Now, can I still export it? Absolutely. You certainly still can do that if you choose to do that. Now, one really cool thing about SmartView as well is you're going to be able to add in unlimited filters. So if I were to go ahead and add a filter, so see this little caret in the upper right-hand corner, if I go ahead and click on invoice, what I'm seeing now is I'm seeing only the invoices for all of the territories. So let's expand this. So now we're really getting just a high-level summary of all of the invoices for all of those territories. But once you add in a filter, what it does is it opens up this filter ribbon. So you see this purple ribbon at the very bottom? This is where I can add in unlimited filters. So I can literally keep adding to my heart's content. Not only can you add filters, but you can add conditions to these filters. So you can do things such as equals, contains, is like, and so forth. All right, let's close out of the filters here. Let's move it back over to our list. And now what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and we're going to add in this find panel here. And I'm going to just take off this filter just so we can see our data a little bit better. So see this find panel? What this is going to do is this is going to go ahead and highlight anything or find anything in relation to whatever it is I've typed in here. So let's say I'm looking for an invoice for $150. What it's going to go do is it's going to go through and highlight and bring them up to my screen. All right, so here's the invoice that I was looking to see. I can literally double click on this invoice and it's going to bring any of those transaction windows up to screen. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you're using the external version of SmartView where you're accessing outside of GP, the one difference is you're not going to have the ability to pull up any of these transaction windows. All right, so we talked a little bit about the unlimited filters. You've got your grouping, your subgrouping. We talked about the unlimited filters, the find panel. Let's go ahead and now if you're wanting to do like an export to Excel, as I stated, you certainly can do that, or you can do CSV, PDF. I want to show you how quick it does do the export, but not only does it do the export, but it's also going to save all of the headers and footers. So you're going to literally see it just as you saw it right there in SmartView. All right, now let's say this is a list that I use every single day and I really don't want to have to come back into GP to access and set up all of my grouping and subgroupings. What I can do is I can save this as a favorite. Now when I save this as a favorite, what it's going to do, what I can do is I can actually define who has access to view the list. So you can save it based off of a specific role. You can also save it based off of a specific user. In this example, I'm going to do all users. And also, if there's more than one company, you can certainly define which company that you want this associated with. So in this example, let's just do all companies, all users. We're going to save it. Now let's add our lists back. So as we can see here, see this star next to Endeavour? I'm going to click off of this now. And now what we're seeing, remember, this is the list we started out with. This is the one that's just got a bunch of data thrown at us. Now if I click back on this Endeavour, now we're seeing as it kept all of the headers and footers just as we had it prior to, just as we had it as we saved it. So SmartView, as I stated, it's something that you can use as a replacement to your Smart List. If you're looking to maybe add some efficiencies when you're working with your list on a day-to-day basis, SmartView is definitely the answer for that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Naomi. And yes, talk to Endeavour, give our team a call. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and thank you, Naomi, for all of your effort.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your week.